everybody. Welcome to Crescent Crown Distributors, our host, and also welcome and thank you, by the way, to our sponsors for our wonderful breakfast this morning. By the way, what did you guys think of the breakfast? Right? Yeah, that was brought to us courtesy of Fiber First and Just in Time Moving and Storage, so we do appreciate their support there. And then, of course, we want to thank the Mesa Community College Jazz Band.
Woo!
I couldn't help but think that when you guys were playing, I felt like I should come out with an FM radio voice, kind of the late night smooth sound voice. And so that was a lead in, but I didn't know if anybody would get that part. But thank you, fellas. Appreciate you over there. All right, so we've got a great show in store for you today. And I'm not going to be up here by myself, by the way. As you know, we typically have guests. But I get to have a co-host up with me here, a good friend of mine, a good friend of ours, Sally Harrison, President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yay!
Yay!
Forrest.
All right. Good to see you, Sally. I mean, I've seen you just recently. I feel like there was a lot going on this past year, too.
There has been a lot.
Yeah, so it's good to see you. Good to have you up here.
Thank you.
Now, before we get going to the show here, why don't you tell us what's happening in the Chamber and what's going on?
Sure. Well, we're recovering from 2024. It's been a really busy year. Staff's doing great. We are planning now for 2025, and there's some surprises in store.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Now, I know today's show is a bit special, so
Yes.
you want to give us some insight and tell us what's happening?
Well, as everybody knows, Mayor Giles is terming out after working with us in the city for 10 years. So we've got some little surprise in store, I think. It'll be fun.
All right. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is we've got a longtime chamber member. Salt River Project is today's episode sponsor. And SRP has delivered low-cost, reliable power and water to Arizona for 100 years. Now, they're a critical partner to the city of Mesa in achieving our economic growth potential. So, and I'm going to pause for a second right there because water's a big deal, right? Power's a big deal. And so I got to tell you, from our standpoint, from a fire department, as far as public safety, that's kind of a deal. So I wanted to mention that we do a lot of training on those types of incidents. And so working with our partners at SRP has been a big deal for us too. So, by the way, I'm going to stop talking about us on the fire department right there, and we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest, SRP's David Russo, who's the president of the organization. David, good to see you.
Great to see you.
All right, so what do you have in store for us here, David?
That's how this is going to start.
Right.
The mayor cautioned me that there aren't very many Channel 11 viewers, so I really don't have to have any pressure or sweat.
That's not true.
This going well. So no, I think we're just excited to obviously honor the mayor and for his dedicated public service, and he's been a wonderful partner, as the city has been in a prominent or conspicuous part of our service territory, both on water and power, as you said.
And so I think we probably want to bring the mayor up then, right?
That'd be great.
Okay.
He's here.
All right.
He's here. We should bring him up.
Sorry, my dear. Thank you.
Here.
Thank you. We're trying to figure out who said McMahon.
All right, welcome, Mayor Giles. It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
I tell you what, I'm going to go into a little bit of my sentimental part
Uh-oh.
and some of the things that you've done for us in public safety. But I know you've worked a lot with SRP.
Absolutely.
And at this point, David, sounds like you've got a few things that you'd like to ask the mayor.
Sure, I think. Oh, of course. No, I think I've been intrigued by your career and just watching you navigate a number of issues and challenges very successfully, I might add. I think Mesa, under your watch, has done some wonderful things. I particularly, we partnered on a tech corridor that's resulted in an explosion of data centers that are now verging on probably representing the equivalent of half of SRP's load, which is hard to imagine. data centers receive a lot of criticism. I was curious, what's in your mind, how do you justify the location of data centers in this community, and what does it ultimately give rise to?
Well, data centers, another word for data centers is the internet. That is the World Wide Web. I mean, people, and the cloud, the cloud is not up in the clouds. The cloud is in data centers. And so, and particularly with the advent of artificial intelligence and our reliance now, we live in the world called the Internet of Things, right? Where your phone talks to your car, talks to your TV, talks to your toaster. I mean, just everything about the world that we live in is tied to the web, and it talks to each other. So that's not a bad world to live in, but the practical reality is that, you got to have servers somewhere that are making that happen. So I think we need a balance. I mean, Mesa is a great place for data centers, and I think we're about saturated at the right number that we have. We also want to have a lot of jobs. When we created the Gateway Airport area, it was very intentional. It was because Mesa had the reputation of being a bedroom community, and we wanted to bring more industry, more jobs to our area, and so that's, by design, we were anxious to get industrial development there, and it's doing very, very well. And every one of those, million square foot buildings that's out there that's generating revenue for our city and providing jobs, each one of them is a big partnership with Salt River Project, because water and electricity are the two things that you have to get over those hurdles to do a project like that. So thank you to Salt River Project for being such a great partner with Mesa and with the business community that's moving out there and making literally billions and billions of dollars of investment in our city.
Sure.
Now, David, other than that, is there any other programs or any work that you've done with the city under Mayor Giles' leadership that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I think one example, we host a League of Cities mayor's dinner for every mayor that's within our service territory or where we have facilities. And one year we were down in Tucson, and I had brought along Marco Lopez, who had worked under Napolitano's administration, and then ultimately in the White House with Customs and Border Enforcement, and then went on and became a consultant. But he was just along. He was going to be at the conference, and as a friend, I asked him to join us for our dinner, but I didn't have any specific seating for him, nor did our staff, and so it worked out by happenstance. He sat next to you, and out of that grew a pretty amazing project. So I'd love for you to talk about that, what that was all about.
Absolutely. Marco has strong ties to a company in Mexico that was in the airport development business and had some really innovative ideas about connecting e-commerce in the United States to this huge economy down in Mexico, and we struck a strong partnership with Skybridge now at the Gateway Airport, and hundreds of acres of property at the airport are being developed on their dime as opposed to on the public dime, putting in the infrastructure, the roads and the curbs, and some buildings that are bringing in amazing industries. So that was we're very grateful for that introduction. It really created one of the strongest business partners that we have out at the Gateway Airport.
I've had people that are familiar with the story that want me to take credit for it, and I said, well, I'd first have to have had the vision that was going to give way, but obviously both you and Marco deserve the credit for one, having the communication and the vision to take it on, but ultimately it eliminates the need to ship everything to Mexico City in order to clear customs. It can be shipped directly, which is one of a kind in the U.S. So
yeah, very innovative.
Yeah.
Now,
kudos.
David, are there any things that you want to talk about that's going to benefit the city in the future, or some things that are coming up?
What if I said no? Like
Be the end of the interview.
Next
Like,
question.
okay,
We're done.
Try it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. No,
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Exactly. Those three people, I'm sorry I disappointed. No, I think the biggest challenge, your successor is a friend of SRP's as well, Mark Freeman, And I think the challenge is you've set the bar really high for how a public servant conducts themselves, and so I think that's going to be exciting to continue that partnership. But we back to the data center reference. On one hand, it's excruciatingly challenging as a company for us to grow into that at the same time that we're decarbonizing the grid away from fossil fuels. The two things are a challenge, so we're going to continue to add resources. Not all resources can be renewables because of their intermittency, and so I think we're going to need to continue that partnership going forward, and hope that the model that you've established will continue on.
All right, now David, do you have a favorite story or memory about the mayor that you'd like to share with us?
Uh-oh.
I don't think you do.
I've gone through some pretty, none that we'd want to share. No, I think one memory was the tech group that we're talking about that now has built these data centers, which again, for the audience, you really can't enjoy all of the things that come with it, whether you're reshoring manufacturing, whether you're giving raise to the AI generation of 10x the requirement for storage without building data centers. And so the choice as a economy, as a community, is do you want it to happen here and with the necessary growing pains, or do you want it to happen maybe in China and have us lose out on all of that economic growth? And so I commend you. We've worked together for virtually the entire time you've been in office in order to see what's happened. And I think some communities are glad that Mesa it got the brunt of the data centers, but ultimately I think that's emblematic of really forward thinking and going to be an investment that's everybody's going to benefit from in terms of the quality of jobs and the overall economy here.
For sure.
Okay, now I've got one other question for you too. If you were to provide a quote for a book about Mayor Giles, what would it be?
I think the again, from my perspective,
This is a tough interview for you. I'm sorry.
G-rated.
it's slightly more interactive than I was envisioning. No, I think again, it's his grace and really the insistence on doing the right thing.
And I understand you have a little something also
Yes.
for the mayor, huh?
It's a black box.
Black box. Man, I don't have one of these. Thank you.
There's firemen nearby.
Oh,
I didn't know if it was launch codes or like the football.
Yeah, exactly.
do you want me to open this?
If you can.
I don't know. Yes,
part of the test.
I might need a fireman, to open this. The jaws of life might be involved in this. Wow.
So this is made by our construction and management.
That's a damn award right there.
Exactly.
That's the best damn award I've seen in a long time.
Our construction and maintenance folks are very proud, and they've taken, the stone comes from the original Roosevelt Dam, and then they've fabricated the, it's a pretty significant paperweight.
Yes.
I guess you could hold a door open with it as well. So, but anyway, we're
Wow.
very
Thank
grateful
you.
for the partnership.
Oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much, David. Thank you.
Hey, David, thank you very much for joining us today and for SRP for being today's sponsor. So we appreciate that.
My
and we
pleasure.
appreciate the partnerships.
Okay.
Mayor Giles, we're going to ask you to stay up. Thank you,
David.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Can I just add, people, you can't overstate the importance of Salt River Project in Mesa's
Yes.
development, in our economic development, and just being able to live here. I mean, the story of people being able to live here goes back 150 years to the creation of Salt River Project.
Yeah.
So you need to do another show about David Rousseau and Salt River Project. Thank you.
They've been a great partner in the
They
community.
have, yeah.
Well, it is time for our top 10. Mesa Morning Live Top 10 is kind of a historical thing here. As always, we find something fun to share with our audience, and this month's no different, except this month, Mayor Giles, we thought we would recap 10 areas that you made a difference in our community and with our chamber members. And to do the top 10 with us, joining us is the sponsor of the top 10, our friend James Christensen, president of Gateway Bank. James, come on up.
What? The James Christensen?
You're getting in mine.
We'll edit this part out later. It'll be fun.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah. All right. That's new. I haven't heard that before.
The MCC Jazz Band, everybody.
Yes. Except that was Bob, I think. All right. James, you have the questions, or you have the top 10 list.
I do have the top 10 list. Are we ready?
Yeah, sure.
I think we're ready.
We're ready?
Yes.
All right.
Well, James, do you want to kind of give us a little recap on what's happening at
I was
Gateway?
one of the things that we were just talking about at the bank a couple days ago is we're a smaller team. We have 17 members on our team, and as of Monday, I will have, of our 17 members, we speak 10 languages.
Wow.
So it's just a really cool group. We've spent the last 5 years trying to get a younger team in. And we have that now, except for me. So it's fun that I get to hang out with all the cool kids, and it's just been a really good time. It's fun to be the hometown bank in Mesa, Arizona, and I love this city. So, and our team does too, and I'm just excited to see what they continue to do with it.
Well, James has been a huge supporter of the Chamber for years, since he opened, basically. And as you can tell, James is not your typical banker.
There you go. I did try to get shoes that matched your jacket.
I'm hoping I get to keep those shoes.
You do. And just in case you want to know, yes, they are fur lined.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. All right, James.
I was wondering that.
I knew it.
Let's hear your list.
All right, let's get started. Number 10, Java with Giles. Mayor Giles was willing to meet with members right from the start of his tenure. For a guy who doesn't drink coffee, he's a great sport with our Java with Giles hosts.
Those were fun. Yeah, thank you.
All right, number 9, Merry Main Street. An important tradition in Mesa that Mayor Giles brought back to life and asked the Chamber to help bring it to reality with a wonderful 4.5-story Christmas tree.
That we had to provide twice because somebody burned it down 7 years ago today, the first tree. Yeah.
Thank you for Mary Main Street. Thank
Yeah.
you for that tree.
All right, number 8, supporting our nonprofits. Whether it was ad hoc filming of promotional videos for the hydration campaign or picking up the phone to get support for an organization's needs, the mayor was all in for helping our community organizations thrive.
Thank you. Sally, how many bottles did the hydration campaign raise this year?
The goal was 700,000, and because we reached out to basically our data center community, we ended up with over 1 million bottles this year.
1 million bottles.
All right, number 7. Number 7 was hosting Mesa Morning Live, trying to steal the spotlight from Forrest. Who can forget the great root beer episode and so many others that
No one was
each
ever gonna
visit with
forget
Mayor
that.
Giles as a guest host a fun time for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to be clear, I was the substitute teacher for Mesa Morning Live.
Yes.
When the regular host
Mark
got
Cordes.
a cough or something, I would get the red phone would turn on in my office, and I would drive down here quickly and host the show.
There you go. Number 6, the Asian District. Celebrating diversity has been a hallmark of the mayor's work in supporting the creation of a thriving Asian district, which is one of the ways that work created a positive economic impact in Mesa.
He's eaten his way through that.
Sally said he's eaten his way through the Asian district.
Yes.
And that's 100% true. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, number 5, aviation fascination. We all, including the mayor, celebrate both the heritage of aviation in Mesa and the tremendous part aviation plays in Mesa's modern economy.
Amen.
All right, number 4, Mesa has heart. It does.
It does.
Yes.
Yes.
The Chamber took a new direction in celebrating the business community and our community organizations, and the mayor was right there to support.
Yeah, well deserved.
State of the city, number 3. I mean, who has a state of the city like Mesa?
No one.
Nobody.
No.
It's incredible. Through his tenure, the state of the city became the gold standard of engaging and motivating the community behind all the great things happening in Mesa. From economic development to food tours, our state of the city is the best. I absolutely agree.
Thank you.
It is.
I should say thank you to the Chamber for being the sponsor of the State of the City and allowing us to. Most cities, you have the resources to walk up to a microphone and read a boring speech, and that's the State of the City.
Yeah.
But by partnering with the Chamber, you know, it's lights, camera, action. It's,
We elevated.
it's a big
I
event.
remember when you had your first State of the City with us, and you said, unless you actually get AC/DC, I don't want smoke and mirrors. We changed that a little bit over the years.
Yes, right. No, yeah, it evolved a little bit.
A little bit.
Thank you.
Number 2, COVID response. The day the world shut down, the mayor came to the chamber to record a message of encouragement and optimism with Sally, and his leadership backed that message up.
Totally. Did
All right. Well, I think that was one of the things I love about our community is our character, is our commitment to principles, and that was really on display during. I mean, in the most trying of times, I thought our community and our relation and the importance of a relationship between the city and the business community was really revealed. And so very proud of the partnerships with the Chamber, very proud of all of the people in our community that stepped up in such an amazing way during that, 2.5, 3 years of very difficult times.
We have heart.
There you go. I know I have to leave in a second. Before I do number 1, it is just such an honor to sit here with the mayor. I'm so proud to live in Mesa and so proud that Mayor Giles has been our mayor. And he's such a good representative of the city and makes us look so good. So it has been an amazing 10 years, and it'll be really sad to see you.
You're kind of, thank you.
All right, number 1,
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that?
the business card. I'll let Sally tell you more about that one.
So that came from your first swearing in,
Inauguration,
right?
yeah.
And you showed a business card for, I think, 4 of us. I know economic development, I think the visitors group, and myself. Maybe there was one more.
Right.
Wasn't as important, obviously.
No, it wasn't.
But he literally gave me a card that's framed, that card, at a board dinner right after you started. And it says special assistant, which is pretty fun, but it's just, to me, a message of the partnership that we've had for 10 years. And it's been a benefit to all of our members.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I hope that did set the tone at the beginning of this 10 years. But I did think what's the role of the mayor, right? The mayor's role is to sing in the choir with the city and to elevate the chamber and the economic development, all of these components. The mayor's role needs to be the assistant, the wind beneath the wings of these critical organizations in the community. So that was the intent behind the business card, was to put everybody on notice that I was here to work for these critical institutions in our community that would need to be successful for our community to be successful.
Well, thank you for that.
So thank you.
It's been great.
Thank you. That's going to wrap up the top here. James, thank you, and thank you again,
You can just leave the shoes.
Okay.
So, so Mayor, you get to stay up here a little bit longer. And,
Wonderful.
I think the other day you had described this as part of your celebration of life, right?
That's right. Well, no, I originally was calling it funerals, and people said that you should find a more happy word for all of these you're leaving moments. So we call them celebration of life. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, your tour is going to continue, I think,
Great.
here after this too. So, Mayor, we wanted to celebrate you in a bit of a unique way, and so what we're going to do is we looked high and low.
You look scared.
Right? We looked high and low to see if we can find somebody that we can bring that can perhaps talk to about, or help us make this accomplishment in trying to find a unique way in recognizing you. And so we do have with us a writer and an entertainer, Brian Neeson. I'm going to have Brian come up to the stage now.
Your friend is here.
Brian Neeson.
My
There we
good
go.
friend. Remember, you're my friend, Brian, okay? Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
Good to see you.
And I think it's a good opportunity for everybody to get to know the connection between you two. So, Brian, we understand you had a guest vocalist today too, and you're going to introduce us to Emily.
Emily
Okay.
Pack, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and I understand you have some thoughts on how you wanted to celebrate Mayor
sorry.
John. So,
Well, you're singing harmony with her, so be ready for that.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm just kidding.
No, thank you.
okay, so we understand you have some thoughts that you want to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say that anytime, I lived in California for a while, and when I came back, Mayor and I went to high school together. And every time I would get a text or an email or a phone call from the mayor, I knew it was going to be a great day because he'd want me to get involved in something, some silly thing that we were going to do together. And so whether it was his podcast or the show that we do, The Man Who Killed Santa Claus, or the videos for the state of the city, it was always such a joy to be working with the mayor on those. And I've said it many, many times, and I'll always say it. We have the funnest mayor in America. Am I right?
Right.
And it's important to have a fun mayor. However, there is a dark side. This is a little story for you. When we were in high school, he was a year ahead of me. We went to Westwood High School. And I don't know if you remember this. I don't think I've ever talked to you about this.
Oh, great. Now's the perfect time
Yeah.
to have this conversation.
And it's a one of those very core memories, and it formed my life.
Great.
This here. So
Okay.
there was
Drum roll.
there was an assembly. In high school they have these assemblies, and these people came and they were going to put on a show. It was just entertainment, and they got people up on stage to do silly things, to dance and sing or whatever it was. Do you remember this?
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. Okay.
What goes on?
And they said, okay, next we need a class clown. And there were some kids near me that started pointing at me, and I was like, okay, this will be great. I'll be happy. I got up and I looked, and there's John walking up on stage. He had appointed himself the class clown. I was like, okay.
You got to be assertive in life.
I'm sure that for good reason people were pointing at you too, because John was always a very, very funny guy. But he gets up there, and I remember this about the routine. At one point you were on your knees, and they had put sort of a saucery thing on your head, and you were an alien. Do you remember this?
No.
And you were going beep, beep, boop, 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 and you're acting like an alien.
This was a dream, I think.
No. It was real.
Okay.
It was real, and it began my revenge tour. Because when I moved back, it was really dumb what you did, by the way. It wasn't funny at all. And so when
That's why I don't remember it, and you do, I think. Yeah.
So when I came back, and he called and said, hey, I want you to help with something, I thought, this is great. I'm going to get him back. I'm going to make him look like a fool at every chance I get. Whether it was, we got this up here, alfalfa, made him look like alfalfa. He was happy to do it. He didn't realize I was trying to crumble his career.
You succeeded.
You see up there, there's Doc. We had him be Doc from Back to the Future.
There he is, a Star Wars nerd. He's stumbling around like drunkenly in the alley. He's drinking blue Bantha milk.
Bantha milk, that's right.
Yeah. You're being a rocker there, singing "We Are the Champions" with a tie tied around your neck. And you got us holding a spear there. All of these things.
Right, yeah.
I could never put a dent in his reputation. He just became more and more and more popular.
So in spite of your best efforts.
Exactly.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So one of these times when he called, he said, "Hey, I want to slow jam the news." Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
This was many years ago. It was like 8 years ago. You remember? Were you around, Forrest, at that time? All right. So he wanted to slow jam the news, and I said, "That's a great idea. I love that." And I said, "I'll start to sketch out some ideas." But then he sends me the script for it, and I said, "Mayor, I don't know who on your staff wrote this, but it's genius. It's very funny. Keep that person." And he had to sheepishly tell me, "I wrote that." And then I thought, it's hard to beat John at his own game. So I think we have that video of the original
Yes, we
slow
do.
jam.
The
Before we show
the
that,
best part about this
Yeah.
is the singer
Yeah.
that actually brings some value to this is your very talented daughter, Emma. And she was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, I think
at
she
the
was
time.
15 at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. And so this is that
The last time I
original
was on
slow
this
jam.
show, the Mesa Community College Jazz Band was here, and they are fabulous. And I was very excited to find out that we have them back again today. So I thought it would be a tremendous shame to let this great talent go not fully recognized and utilized. So with your permission, I'm going to walk over to the band for a little bit of a musical interlude. People often ask me, "Mayor, I hear you talk about this next Mesa thing. What is that?" And so I thought that we'd maybe take a kind of go old school and slow things down a little bit and talk about the next Mesa Jam this morning. So gentlemen, hit me.
It's the Mesa Community College Jazz Band, laying down Johnny G's next Mesa slow jam.
Oh, yeah. Mesa, you are a beautiful city. From the dancing fountains of your art center, your spring training ballparks, airports, playgrounds, and re-energized downtown, girl, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah, we lifted the face of downtown Mesa.
But Mesa, I feel like you can be even more. That together we can grow stronger. We can progress from where we are to where we can be, and girl, I'm hoping you're ready to take things to the next level. Mesa, you've always been big on education. It's one of the things that I and everyone else finds so attractive about you. But girl, it's all about getting a job, and that's why I'm talking about bringing Arizona State University right downtown, baby.
We're gonna get to new levels by adding some devils.
That's right. Mesa, you know I already feel safe with you. So safe. But girl, let's keep it real. We have to keep working on it. And I've noticed you're getting larger. But don't get me wrong, I like a big city. But let's add more police and fire to keep up with your growth. Don't fret about your size. It's just more of you to love.
Big cities can do big things.
Yes, they can. And finally, baby, don't you dare listen when people say that you're cheap. I don't think you're cheap. I think you're affordable. And ladies and gentlemen, that's my next Mesa Slow Jam. Thank you very much.
I mean, it wears well. It's 8 years old. It
That's
really,
right.
And prophetic, right?
Can I just
Mesa
say,
is not cheap.
Mayor, your staff was not happy that we let you do that.
No, they've tried very hard to bury that video.
Melissa was like, this is going to be out there in the world for everyone to see. It's like, yeah.
I did see a few people out there losing it, so there you go. Heads up, heads up.
You had mentioned my daughter, when she found out that we were going to do this, she said, I want to send a message to the mayor.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Mayor Giles. I would like to say thank you for everything you've done for Mesa and for me. You may know that I opened for John Legend last week, and I was so honored to do it. And I said, why did you choose me? And he said, well, I saw you slow jam the news with Mayor Giles. So thanks to you that I have the career that I have. So thank you. You're the best.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't believe that.
several times in the last, since that time we slow jammed the news, the mayor has said to me, every few years, you've said, we need to slow jam the news again.
I do, yeah.
But we've never, the opportunity has never, made itself apparent. Until now. Until now.
Really?
We're ready to, we got the MCC Jazz Band back. Aren't they great?
Woo!
They are, yeah.
And we've got Emma's good friend, Emily Pack, with us. She's a
Yes.
great vocalist. She's ready to slow jam the news with you.
No.
All you need is content, which I will provide.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to have you slow jam the most famous tweets about Mayor Giles since you've been mayor.
Good. All right.
So if they'll give us a little groove and music, we'll make our way over there.
Nice.
All right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're gonna slow jam the tweets with Mayor Giles today. Ooh, those last 8 years, he sure looked younger in that video, that's all I'm saying. Ooh, no offense. Let's slow jam the tweets, yeah.
Tweet number 10 from @GoSpringCubs says, usually throwing out the first pitch is a ceremony in which someone figuratively throws the first pitch of a baseball game. But for Mayor Giles, it looked like he was literally the first time he had ever thrown a ball. It was so awkward, a small girl shouted, "You throw like a mayor."
Ooh, he tried to throw the ball and he threw out his back instead.
Number 9, Crescent Crown at AZ says, Crescent Crown Distributing will miss Mayor Giles. He never once asked us to provide free booze for him. But the last time he was here, a case of root beer did go missing.
Ooh, John's a good guy, but he's a little boring. Don't invite him to your party unless it's a baby shower, baby.
Tweet number 8 from @Mesa Synagogue News says, I think Brian might have played a role in writing this. It was lovely of Mayor Giles to show up to our son's bris. But I would have remembered that. But also a little frightening. He came directly from a ribbon cutting and accidentally brought his giant scissors.
Ow! I've seen those scissors. They are sharp, baby.
I can't discuss that more. There's litigation involved. But tweet number 7 @Space and Science says, Space and Science has updated its list of man-made objects visible from space. Joining objects like the pyramids of Giza and the Suez Canal is Mesa's Merry Main Street. Yay!
Ooh, Santa's coming to town because John. Yeah.
Tweet number 6 @LLT Accounting says, is Mayor Giles okay? He just cut the ribbon for my new accounting firm and cried, I don't mean his eyes watered a little bit. I mean he fell to his knees and shouted, "It's all so beautiful."
Ooh, John's always crying. We gotta do some medical tests on this guy. Gotta take some of his blood and put it in a centrifuge and figure out what makes him be a man in touch with his feelings. Give a little dose of that to everybody's husbands and fathers. Ow.
I'm really going to miss this. Tweet number 5 from @MeNoSleep says, "Thank you, Mayor Giles. I've suffered from insomnia for years. Then I discovered your podcast. Just a few seconds of any episode and I'm out. I suggest this same method to park rangers who have to tranquilize large animals. But they said, no thanks, we want the animals to actually wake up."
Ooh, just another guy with a podcast, baby. It's pretty good, but the pace needs a little work.
Oh, it's actually very good. Tweet number 4 from @Mesa Freedom Forever. I'm looking forward to this one. That's one of my favorite sites to follow. "Having John Giles finish Scott Smith's second term as mayor was like being sent to prison by a cruel judge. Should have been a 2-year sentence, turned into 10.
Ooh, slow jamming the tweets, baby. Ooh,
Little musical interlude. Tweet number 3 from @Mesa Donor Class says, "I'm not saying Mayor Giles forced me to donate several times to Mesa's College Promise program. I'm just saying I've had a lot of physical therapy on my arm lately."
Ooh, John Giles is providing education for people that want it and need it. Hard to make fun of this guy. Actually, it's a little bit easy. I'll keep going. Maybe the next one.
It is easy. Thank you. Tweet number 2 from @Desert Gossip says, "Everyone is asking what Mayor Giles will do next. Given all the new business in downtown Mesa, I'd say marketing director for Anheuser-Busch. I'd take that gig. Thank you."
John's trying to look cool lately. Trying to come across as a big partier.
Thank you. We won't go into that. Tweet number 1 from @MesaBizman says, "Saw John Giles slow jam the news with Eminiscin. Big fail. I know he was trying to sound like Barry White. He just sounded very white."
Yes, we got a little lack of melanin up here, baby. Melanin deficient baby up here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That slow jam the tweets, baby.
Is this where I improvise?
Give us one more. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Slow jam the tweets. We're gonna miss John Giles, baby. Such a good man, even though he's a little bit boring, like I mentioned. We gotta love him. He's not good at parties. That's kind of why we like him. Slow jam the tweets.
Wow, that was good. Does anybody need a Kleenex? Because the crying that I saw going on out there.
Not tears of sadness.
Not tears of sadness. That's
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Hey, Brian, Emily, thank you very much for that. That was excellent stuff. Thank you. Excellent stuff. Thank you. And the MCC Jazz Band, great work. I appreciate you as well.
That might be my new handle, very white.
I don't know what to say about that.
I apologize to everyone who had to hear that.
Mayor, thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you can tell how much you mean to your chamber.
I do. I feel appreciated.
You've said yes to us for just about everything we've ever asked of you to engage with us on, and it's appreciated. Thank you very much. We just wanted to see, what final thoughts do you have for coming up? I know you're on a farewell tour.
This has been. It is interesting to look from the perspective of 10 years back, and I was initially I served on our city council a long time ago, back in the 1990s, in fact, when I was in my 30s. And had
When
no
you were a
business
young
doing
man.
it. I was a young man. What are you trying to say, Sally?
Well, you aged me a couple weeks ago.
And so I've always been very fond. I'm a Mesa native, always been very loyal to my hometown, always had a lot of affection for Mesa, and that's what motivated me initially to be involved in Mesa city government. But I felt like I had checked that box and I had moved on. And so when this opportunity to run for mayor presented itself, I frankly was not interested in doing it. I felt like that's not a direction I wanted to go. People persisted in suggesting I do it because we needed someone to run. And then finally, when I allowed myself to think about it, I knew I was in trouble because it hit me that there's nothing I would rather do, right, than spend my full time and my energy, my professional energy, as your job is to make your hometown a better place. Wow, how do you beat that? And so that was my perspective at the beginning of the 10 years. And looking back, it did not disappoint. You know, every night for the last 10 years, I've had a big smile on my face as my head has hit the pillow, even on those occasions where people were not expressing their love and affection for the mayor as much as I would have liked. But the thing about Mesa is a very special place. And a lot of cities are, but Mesa has strengths and weaknesses. But I do think the Mesa stands out among, the Phoenix Metro is not just another collection of streetlights. We have some core values, some principles, some heritage, some traditions that are kind of baked into this city that do make it, in my humble estimation, a special place. And so it's been a real privilege to have played a role in cultivating and protecting and advertising and bragging about what makes Mesa a special place and trying to institutionalize, some of those qualities that we have rather than let them dilute. So the irony in these types of nice events where people say thank you is I want to say thank you to the city of Mesa, to the voters of Mesa that gave me this opportunity for 10 years. I'll never approach anything like this, for the rest of my life in terms of just the honor of being engaged in something so important and so rewarding. So thank you, Mesa, for letting me have the best job in the world.
Okay, well, this is where we're going to sadly wrap it up. But first of all, we want to thank the audience. Thank you for taking the time to come out this morning. We also want to thank our sponsors, David Russo with SRP, as well as James Crescent from Gateway Bank. We appreciate you all. And also thanks to Brian and Emily. Good stuff. Appreciate you guys there. That was wonderful. Thank you. And of course to the MCC Jazz Band here, where now I'm starting to wonder whether or not there's opportunities for us to collaborate or something here.
Not us, but you.
And finally to you, Mayor Giles, I got to tell you, thank you for your amazing years of public service. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Crescent Town didn't want
Wow.
to leave without root beer.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. There's more over there for you.
And thank you again for guiding Mesa through the most exciting times in our history. And so we appreciate all you've done for us. And again, everybody look out for us in February. I believe it's going to be Valentine's Day. We'll be hosting another show. Mm-hmm. Mayor Giles, perhaps you'll come back and be in the audience or hang out with us sometime.
You're never going to see me again.
With that said, everybody have a great weekend, and thank you so much. Thank you.